I am divorced from my wife June and we have one daughter together, Claire. We divorced on bad terms after I lost my job in the global issue. I came home to an empty house and received a note saying she needed someone who could give her the lifestyle she and Claire deserved. I didn't see Claire for a while because of the restrictions on court proceedings during that time. However, I was one of the lucky ones who came out of the global issue better than I went in, and I'm now in fantastic financial shape. I now have 50% custody of my daughter and am trying to make up for lost time. This means, since the world has opened up again, as long as Claire does well in school and helps with her chores, the weekend she's with me, we will do whatever she wants. Usually things like museums, movies, nearby national parks, festivals in our city, etc. Yesterday I went to pick up my daughter from school and June and her husband were waiting there and asked to speak to me. They said the businesses he used to run took a massive hit during the global issue and have never recovered, meaning they've had to scale back their lifestyle significantly, including June getting a job. They then informed me that June was pregnant and they didn't want my spoiling Claire to affect the relationship between the two kids, as they couldn't do the same for their baby. I told them I didn't intend to change how I raised Claire because she was a great kid and deserved to be rewarded for her good behaviour. The conversation devolved from there, with June finally screaming at me that I was just some damn Disneyland dad using his money to get back at her. At the time, I didn't think I was wrong. Still, since talking to my girlfriend and some friends in child education, I'm wondering if I am the idiot for setting my daughter and her half-sibling up for conflict. Not the idiot. Ha ha ha, she left you because of money issues, and now she has money issues with her replacement husband and is reminded of what she's done every time her daughter gets time with you. Good on you for not changing how you raise your daughter because of your ex's poor decision-making. Tell her you're simply giving Claire the lifestyle she deserves. Good one. Petty and exactly what she threw in your face. Opie's daughter shouldn't suffer because her mom thought the grass was greener, but it turned out to be AstroTurf. Why should you and your daughter suffer because her mother and stepdad are financially unwell? It will also take years till the newborn child realizes that its half-sister gets treatment other than itself. I agree, by the time your daughter's half-sibling can understand how you prefer your daughter, she'll probably already be an adult. There's always going to be some disparity in blended families because the children have different parents and grandparents with different means. Keep in mind that anything you give your daughter that she takes home to her mother's house that can be used by the other children in the family, primarily electronics, will cause headaches. Your wife and her husband may demand your daughter share it. Just curious, how quickly did June marry her new husband after divorcing you? Seems like the whole "you can't give us the lifestyle" was just a BS excuse to marry this new guy she thought was rich. But either way, she really took the "for richer or poorer" part of her vows to heart with you, didn't she? Karma is a witch. You sound like a great dad, and too bad. It's so sad for June. I hope you get more custody time with your girl. You deserve it. What I think the ex-wife really is afraid of is the new baby daddy's butthurt ego about being the lesser provider, and the new baby growing up asking some tough questions she will not be willing to answer truthfully. Sounds like your ex is regretting her life choices. 3 years ago, my dad got married to Erica, and Erica moved in with her daughter Liv, pre-tween. Erica has other kids as well. She has 3 with one guy, 2 with another guy, and then Liv with someone else. Liv's dad is apparently someone Erica has a long relationship with, and she cheated on both her exes with Liv's dad. So Erica's other kids hate Erica, Liv's dad, and Liv. I met them a handful of times, and it's so clear. Whenever they're around Liv, they tell her she should never have been born. They call her a fair baby to her face, and they mock her and say things to make her cry. Liv doesn't really get why they hate her. She hasn't figured out what they mean by the affair baby comments, and Erica doesn't want to tell her. Erica's other kids also tell Liv how crappy her dad is and how he didn't even want her, and he's the worst person alive, so she must be really disgusting and unlovable. Erica knows what her other kids say, but they rarely see Erica, so I guess she can't do much. Her 3 older kids are older than me, I think, so yeah, there's a lot of messy stuff going on there. When my dad and Erica got married, they asked me to please be kind to Liv and step up and see her as my sister. I, nearly adult female, am kind, but I don't have the sisterly bond they want me to have with Liv. I told them I didn't feel that way about her when they called me on not putting more effort into our time together. Sometimes I'll watch a movie with Liv or let her play video games with me, but they wanted more and they told me doing more was the only way to make sure we never went back to her being just my stepsister, which is why I explained I didn't have that sibling bond with Liv. They didn't say much else after I told them this. Their only comment was that you're all she has and she's all you have. My dad has told me a few times, not to mention Liv, that I'll go to college in the fall and move out of the house. Liv has become very attached to me and told me how she wishes her other siblings would spend time with her and not hate her. She talks about me being her best friend. She calls me just her sister and wishes we could spend all our time together. And it kills me because I'm not planning to come back to Dad's regularly. She won't be able to sleep in my dorm for my freshman year, but I won't be living in the dorm my entire time at college, and I don't really want to promise she can visit when I live in an apartment. I brought this all up with Dad and Erica, and they refused to tell Liv I'll be moving out, even though I will move on the 19th of June. So the other day when Liv was trying to ask me to do stuff with her all summer, I told her I wouldn't be here and that I was moving out. She told me we could have sleepovers when I moved out, and I told her that wouldn't be possible. She got really upset and Erica was furious, and she told me I was supposed to be the sibling who doesn't let her dad, and Dad said I disobeyed them. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What were your dad and Liv's mom expecting? That you would pack your bags on the 19th of June and then what? Were they going to keep telling Liv that you'll be back tomorrow? They're not doing Liv any favours by not allowing her to build her own life without siblings. There are a lot of children out there who live perfectly happy lives. Kids don't need a sibling bond to have full lives. Liv should be empowered to live her own life and bond, or not, with her parents' kids in a healthy way, instead of pining for relationships that will likely never exist. Why on earth did your dad marry this woman? Why on earth are they trying to shove all of this on you? Erica sounds like a real piece of work, so I'm not sure making any sort of long-term plans that involve her being in a stable location is worth making. What she is doing, with Dad's encouragement, to build up all of Liv's hopes and dreams around you, OP, and it's abusive and lazy. Exactly. Pattern recognition is such a rare skill these days. She's already cheated on not one but two of her baby daddies with the third baby daddy, but apparently OP's dad thinks he's special, that she would never do that to him. In the immortal words of Bugs Bunny, what a maroon. I, 26 male, lost my wife Annie over a year ago when our two children were only a toddler and a preschooler. She was only 25. I lost my own mom when I was 5, so I've been where my children are, and my heart aches for them as well as for myself and for Annie, who so desperately wanted to be here for our kids. She lost her own dad when she was 6, so the reality of history repeating hit her incredibly hard before the end. I vowed to her, to myself, and to our children that I would not make the same mistakes my dad and her mom made in the aftermath. I'm mostly estranged from my dad, but after Annie died, he reached out to tell me he hoped I understood him better and cut him some slack for everything. I didn't respond to him at the time because I was in the most immediate sense of grief still. Today it's still raw, but I'm in therapy to try and find peace in my life. He reached out to me a few more times and apologized for his initial message. We met up a few days ago per his request. Once he realized I still wore my wedding ring and was still grieving, he tried telling me I needed to move on and start looking for love again. This led to tension in the meeting, and I told him to drop it or else. That is when he started saying he hoped I would see why he remarried so fast after my mom died, why he was so happy with his second wife, and why he felt I needed a mother like he was so sure I felt my kids needed. I hated him for being happier and loving his second wife more, but I should understand better now. I should know that life has to move on, and wanting to embrace a new person entirely is not a bad thing. I'm a widower parent, and that should have opened my eyes and made me regret hating him for so long. I told him it didn't work that way. That only made me judge his actions more harshly. He was stunned to hear this. He asked me how I would find someone else to love me and the kids if I was still hung up on Annie, and I told him Annie was the love of my life. I told him my children are the other two loves of my life, but in a different way than Annie. It's my job to give them safety, security, love, and the best life I can make happen. I told him I would never look my young children in the eye and tell them their mother is dead and they need to get over it and accept a new mother. I will never yell at my children for crying for their mother because it makes the new spouse unhappy. I told him I'm not looking to give them a new mother. I'm looking to provide them with the best version of the dad they have and the best out of this crappy life we've been given. I told him I would never rub it in their faces the way he did to me, that I love someone else way more than I ever loved their mom. I told him I understand grieving and needing to focus on yourself, but not hurting your children by trying to erase the parent they love. He called me an idiot and I left. And I wondered if I was too harsh. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, mate, and you know it. You owe him nothing while you owe your children, as you said, the best version of yourself. Your father truly has some nerve to come over and tell you how to grieve. Rubbing in how he loves his new wife more than your mother, that's blatantly evil. My condolences for all the hardship you've had to endure. The fact that, in the face of OP going through the loss of his wife, his dad's first message to OP is basically an "I told you so" type of message speaks volumes. Some people experience pain, which builds empathy for them. Others experience pain and they decide no one is allowed to say it hurts because it hurts for them. Peace to you, my friend. Decades have passed and your father still sees himself as the victim. He was cruel because it suited him to be so. You were not cruel, but you were honest. He used his power to diminish you, and you are using yours to shelter your children. Maybe lose his number? Dad is selfish. Stay low contact until he has something positive to add to you and your children's lives. I've been with my girlfriend for roughly 3 years now. A few months ago, she started talking to an old friend again who she hadn't seen in a while. They met up a few times for drinks, and then my girlfriend invited me along for drinks with them so I could meet her. We all get along really well. My girlfriend's ex-boyfriend messaged her fairly recently and they haven't spoken for years. My girlfriend told me about it and asked if I was comfortable with her replying. I told her that while I personally find it weird, I trust her so she can reply if she wants to. We met up with a friend a few more times for drinks and her friend and I like similar TV shows, movies and video games. Her friend added me on social media and I mentioned it to my girlfriend. It's not abnormal, I've got a few of my girlfriend's friends on social media. When one of the TV shows that we both like was playing, she messaged me about it. I told my girlfriend this and replied to her. We've messaged a few times about movies, TV shows, etc. My girlfriend told me she thinks it's weird I'm talking to her friend and thinks I should stop. I asked what she thought was wrong with it, and she just said I shouldn't be messaging her. I asked her for an explanation, but she wouldn't give me one. I mentioned that she's been messaging her ex, so I think she's being hypocritical by getting annoyed at me for messaging a friend. She said it's not the same and that I should stop messaging her friend. I refused and again tried to get her to explain what she thought was wrong. She just said it's about respect. I asked why it was different for her to talk to her ex-boyfriend but not for me to talk to a friend, and all she could say was that she knew her ex previously, whereas this is a friend of hers I'm talking to. I said that wasn't really a reason, and she just repeated that it was about respect and that I shouldn't disregard what she was saying. I should listen to her. Am I the idiot for pointing out hypocrisy with my girlfriend and refusing to stop talking to a friend? OP, get married so you can divorce her ASAP. No. Even better, do couples counselling first, figure out you actually hate each other, get married, keep presents, divorce, and fight for custody over the fancy blender. Thank you for giving me a laugh. Not the idiot, it is hypocrisy and she's definitely projecting. She's talking to her ex about some stuff I don't think she wants you to find out. The next time she mentions it, right there on the spot and with zero time to prepare for it, look her straight in the eyes and suggest that you both immediately swap phones so that she can read your messages with the friend while you read her messages with the ex. You don't even need an actual answer for her immediate reaction to tell you everything you need to know, but be prepared for her to try dodging the idea like something out of the Matrix. In your place, I would even insist and declare that trying to evade or run off and buy time before agreeing later, after deleting so much crap that she might as well have just factory reset the phone, will be seen as her agreeing to break up. I, 34 male, have been married to my wife Michelle, 32, for 4 years, and we've been together for 6. Michelle also has an older sister, Sharon, 34. Sharon and I were close friends growing up because we had the same interests. She was into sports, we did the same activities together, etc. We were pretty much best friends, and I sort of considered her more like my own sister or an extension of me because we were both so similar. We even pursued the same field in college. We dated many different people but never each other because we were basically like siblings. I never really spoke with her sister Michelle during our teenage years because she was 2 years younger and we also had nothing in common. However, a few years after Michelle graduated college, we started talking more often because there was a sort of romantic attraction and tension there. I asked her out shortly after, we dated for a couple of years, and we married. We also have 2 children now. Through all this, Sharon was really happy for both of us, and she thought we were perfect for each other. A few months ago, Sharon called me to her apartment because she wanted a serious chat. She basically admitted that she had feelings for me for a long time and that she knew it was wrong. She was crying really heavily and she said she didn't want to ruin my and Michelle's lives, but she had no one else to talk to about this. This whole thing was a massive surprise because I always thought Sharon considered me like a brother. I told Sharon that I wouldn't tell Michelle about this because it would really ruin their sibling relationship and the entire family dynamics. I also told Sharon that she needed to go to therapy to address these feelings, but that I would always be there to listen to her. Sharon has started online therapy and we've maintained our distance. Still, she occasionally comes to me to talk about her therapy progress. Am I the idiot in how I'm handling all this? Oh man, if your wife finds out that you kept this from her, she's going to assume the worst and this little secret will totally blow up in your face. Don't you think she deserves your honesty? Why are you so loyal to the sister instead of your wife? You are the idiot if you keep this from her. Exactly, dude. That is what I was thinking the whole time I was reading. It's not a good idea to be the person she leans on either. He is breaking his wife's trust by keeping secrets from her and putting himself in a position to be manipulated by the sister. She's in therapy because she has feelings for him and then he entertains her and allows her to use him for emotional support. It's an absolutely stupid move.